Hello everyone, Neve here, and I'm finally getting around to it and doing a walkthrough of the Ignis Arcanae. So I got this deck, I almost said test, got this deck for Mother's Day. My husband got it for me and I super love it. It's awesome. Oh, you know what? When I go through this, I think I want to have as the background one of the new mats that I made, and I just shared these in my last video, going over all my new deck bags and things like that I've made. And I showcased two of these mats that I made. Here's one side. This is for I made this to match the bag that I did for the Memento Mori, and I mean, here's that right now because I was gonna pair it with this deck, so I already had this out. So yeah, I did the embroideries on this and created this mat, and I'm thinking of making more mats. And they are reversible, making more mats to sell. Yeah, so I talked about that in my last video, so please go check out my latest deck bag video. Maybe I'll leave a card pop-up to it if I remember. But yeah, anyway, so I'm gonna put it on this side because I mean, I guess we could do it on this side, but yeah, I think we'll do it on this side. All right, so we have the Ignis Arcanae, and I'm really excited about this. This is not in order because I have been using this deck. So I guess we will start. I'll talk while I flip through. All right, making sure it is. Oh, I kind of need to tilt it a bit because the light is right there. So I'll just hold these. Anyway, so this is of course the Fire Tarot by Taylor Bryn. It's very cool. I like it a lot. Yeah, my husband had he asked what I wanted for Mother's Day, and I said it's between two decks, and you can decide which deck you get me. And one was the Terra Arcanae, which I don't have because I do have the Ocean one. I have to keep it keeps not wanting to focus. There we go. I have the Ocean one, the Oceanum Arcanae, and I will probably do a little bit of pairing with that one as well with this. Yeah, I do really keep needing to refocus. All right, hold on. There, hopefully it'll stay. There we go. Yeah, so, it was between the Terra Arcanae and this one, of course, the Ignis Arcanae. And I probably hyped this one up a bit because, oops. There we go. Tried to adjust the the focus, and it made it really dark all of a sudden. But I probably hyped this one up a little bit with him, and I was like, well, this one has dinosaurs, so I probably nudged him this direction. Yeah, so I mean, there's some pretty cool dinosaur cards in here. The backs are really nice. They go pretty well with the other Arcanae decks. I guess that's what I'll call them, the Element Arcanae decks. Yes, and it's kind of got like reptiles, all centering on what looks like a cobra in the center here. Pretty cool. Yeah. I really like this artwork. Because I had been looking for decks that kind of fit that sort of element theme, like earth, air, fire, water sort of deal. But I love this axolotl. That's so cute. But some of the other decks, like the animal decks or the forest decks and things like that, the art style is nice, or it's but it's just like a little too cutesy or a little too whimsy or something. And Taylor Bryn's decks feel very serious, and I think that's kind of the vibe that I wanted to go with this. I wanted a more serious vibe, but it's still got a bit of whimsy to it. Like it's not ultra serious. But yeah, but the art on this is beautiful. I'm sorry that it keeps like not wanting to focus though. I wonder if it is the mat. I wonder if I flip it to the other side, if I'll have an easier time with this. Let's see. We'll see. Because I think it was focusing on the images that were on the other side of this. Yeah, already this is better. Well, there we go. I thought this would be too busy in the background, but I guess, you know, the fabric I chose for this side is a little busy, so maybe that's, at least for the camera, that's what it keeps focusing on. I really like this one, the sun card. So I will say that the only negative I have with these decks, the Element Arcanae decks, is that they are very dark. The imagery, it does show up lighter on camera. And you are able to see this, because this in person is this is one of the darkest cards. But on camera, I think it does a pretty good job, like, you know, showing the light in it. Yeah, because it definitely looks brighter on camera versus when I just look at it, it looks very, very dark. So, yeah, I would say that's my only criticism of this deck. They are dark. The artwork is very, very dark. So, and I would say that I think from other people's reviews of the Element Arcanae decks that is a pretty common assessment from other people / criticism, is that they are very, very dark. So sometimes, you know, you got to have some good lighting to see these cards, I think. I don't mind it, but I do, you know, I just like the feel of this. I like the heavy black line work and detail, you know, the cross hatching and the dots and, you know, just the texture of the art I really enjoy. So, and it's, you know, pretty typical for RWS. So, I mean, even if you're just paying attention to the card titles, essentially, it's a usable deck, of course. But it is, you know, if you have poor eyesight, then I guess maybe this would be a difficult deck to use. But, and I do wear glasses. But I will say, like, using this deck at night as a nightly reader, it was a little bit difficult to see the cards. But I am looking forward to having all 4 elements and creating a practice around that. And I already sort of have one in mind. Like doing a geomancy kind of thing, that using all 4 decks for that, you know, like, you know, you choose the 4 mothers in geomancy, and it's pulling for 4 lines of it. I don't know if I'm making any sense. But, you know, the dots and the single dots or 2 dots, and there's 4 of them. And then you choose 4 of those to create the mothers. So since they're, and it goes fire, air, water, and earth. So, you know, I could do all the fire pulls from the Ignis Arcanae, all of the air pulls from the upcoming air deck, all of the water from the Ocean Arcanae, and all of the earth from the Terra Arcanae. So, I mean, that could be the practice that I use with these decks. That could be what I go for. Lately, though, I have been using, you know, because I've kind of been going down a geomancy, like, rabbit hole. I've actually been using playing cards to pull for the mothers. So, which I've quite enjoyed, but I'm still kind of I'm still learning how I would approach playing card divination. So, yeah, so it's been an experiment, but I could start off or incorporate the 4 Arcanae decks, and since I already have a pretty well established tarot system, because it's not just about pulling the cards for the 4 mothers in geomancy, but it's also, there's that added level of reading the cards you actually pulled, if that makes sense. Yeah. Anyway, we're getting near the end here. This one's a really dark card in person. Obviously, this part is light, but this is really dark in person. It's kind of hard to see. This 10 of Cups is very pretty. Oh, this one's super dark in person. Oh yeah, this is definitely one of the darkest because it's a lot of that kind of brown in the background. It looks like it might be some sort of scorpion. I'm actually going to grab the little white book because I didn't actually talk about the little white book at all. Yes, very simple little white book. Let's find the Ace of Swords. Now, in these, they do talk about... it starts with the queens. It goes queen, king, knight, page, and then ace 2 3 4 like that. So that's the order that they put this in. So this is Ace of Swords. So it says dinosaur fossil. Okay, I see that now, but I would not have gotten this just by looking at it. I do see what it sort of looks like there. So dinosaurs first appeared about 245 million years ago and went extinct about 66 million years ago. As organisms like dinosaurs decayed over millions of years, water in the nearby rocks surrounded the bones and teeth of the dinosaurs, and minerals in the water replaced them, bit by bit, creating a fossil, a solid rock copy of the original. So the keywords are critical thinking, ultimate triumph, start of a struggle, interpretation suggestions. Applying your brains to the evidence in front of you will yield amazing results. You'll probably face some argument along the way, but you will only make your victory sweeter than when everyone admits you were right all along. I'm not very good at reading out loud, but yeah, so actually I really liked that. I didn't go into the book too often when I was using this as a nightly reader, so I didn't explore it too often. I just kind of went in real quick to see what was being displayed on the cards. But that was actually a pretty good write-up. So I especially like the interpretation suggestions. So that was pretty cool. But like this image is definitely very difficult to see. Yeah, that's kind of my only real criticism of these decks. They're just a little bit too dark. Yeah. All right. Awesome. So we've got that. Now, I kind of wanted to do some pairings. So let's see what we've got here. Oh, before that though, I should show how this shuffles. So the edging is gilded, and I think it stays pretty well. Let me check the Oceanum Arcanae. And of course the book for this is very, very similar. I'm going to put that down at the bottom there. All right. So, and the boxes are identical. They're just different colors and obviously the different names. I do plan to make bags for these, but I want to get all of the decks first. And that way I can do a bulk order of fabric. But yeah, the edging is the same. And I have used this one a bit. And so far, no real, I mean, there's a little bit of wear at the bottom, but you know, it's not my preferred, type of gilding. I do prefer a more matte, gilding. Oh my gosh. My kids are out of school for the summer, and I think that they're playing with the dog right now because the dog's barking in another room. All right, so the sound might be a little weird here because I got to get under the camera to shuffle. Now I am able to shuffle this pretty well. It does shuffle nicely, and there was a little bridge there, but I think I get worried because they're a little stiff. I know I have an easier time shuffling this one, so I think over time they bend a bit more. But yeah, so right now they are a little stiff. They will flex up over time. But the size is typical tarot size. Not much. It doesn't look like there's much difference there. But they do seem a little bit thicker because it was a stretch for my hands to get around. I mean, this is pretty thick here for. See, look at this for me. I do the best I can to get, and it's like barely on there, you know, so, you know, it's not, I think for me, I just have really small hands, but, and it is a stretch to do this, and then, yeah, I don't want to bridge it and break a card there, or bend a card, but, Yeah, over time though, I think it's going to be a little easier to bridge. But anyway, so that's the cardstock. It's pretty matte. There isn't any. There's kind of a smooth coating on it. There's no like, it's not like a linen coating or anything. Pretty smooth. Yeah, smooth, I would say. I do prefer linen. It's just a little easier for me to riffle shuffle that way. All right, so that's the cardstock. So since we have the Oceanum Arcanae out, we can kind of compare these ones, and obviously they look really good together. And I like that I have them on the two portraits on this mat. That was kind of how my purpose of the mat, to have 3 positions on there, that you don't have to use them as positions, but they're vague enough for positions that you could put, and also there's room for a middle section here. So three cards like that. Yeah, that's kind of how I made them. But yeah, so obviously these look good together. And I was thinking for the geomancy thing, like if I pulled, I don't know if it's like a good idea to what I'm trying to say here is like when my idea of pulling all of the fire cards and then all of the air cards, all of the water cards, and all of the earth cards, if it makes more sense to pull just the fires first and then all of the airs and all of the waters and all of the thing, or if I just pull one at a time for the mothers. I don't know if I just made sense there, but like, so pretend for a second that I have all 4 decks. Should I pull when I pull for geomancy, I pull them like this. So that's my geomantic figure, if I was pulling from just one deck like that. So there would be 4 of these for the 4 mothers, right? Does it make sense to, or is it kosher or whatever or is it like sacrilegious to pull for just the 4 fire positions, and then, you know, from another deck, pretend this is the air deck, pulling the air deck like that? I don't know if that's like, you know, I mean, you can do whatever you want with that, whatever system you use, but I do try to stick to some more traditional ways of doing things when appropriate. But yeah, so I don't know. But anyway, so let's pull out another deck. All right, so let's try the Memento Mori with this. So I'm just gonna pull out a small stack because these are it's a huge deck. Yeah, and I think this goes very well. Yeah, this is not a surprise. Let's see, how might I strength and glove with, what is this, the 9 of Pentacles? Like, it's like putting on a glove of strength to, it's almost like this, you know, the 9 of Pentacles is that sort of success sort of feeling, but it's kind of putting on a veneer of success. And depending on what the reading would be, that would make sense. So I actually quite like that. That worked out. So we got the crystal ball, and we got the moon right here, and this is the 4 of Cups. Ugh. I think it's, you know, this works really well too, because it's like it's like we're not caring about something because it's, you know, because it's such a mystery that it's like this could go any which way, and so it's finding a difficult time of caring about it when there's nothing concrete, there's nothing to hold on to, there's just illusions and more illusions on where to go. So it's kind of that's why we're approaching it in this way. So yeah, I mean that worked. This is actually going, like, I was just going to look at this as aesthetics only, really. And I was like, oh, yeah, you know, it goes fine, you know. But actually, the messages were kind of working out pretty well, too. So we've got the 9 of Swords and the 7 of Pentacles. So 9 of Swords, that sort of anxiety. And we kind of see this animal covering their face here, this reptile of sorts. And the 7 of Pentacles, which that's kind of that defense sort of feeling. And then we've got the mirror in the middle. We got the crow's foot between the sun and the emperor. Wow, okay. And a couple more here. The thistle, okay, between the 2 of Wands and the 9 of Wands. Interesting. And this kind of mimics the Wands as well. Something to read into. Feather between the star and the Ace of Swords. You know, following that, you know, the star is kind of that guiding light of a look here, and this is the direction you need to go. So there's a lot of direction with this, and then the Ace of Swords is such it's like it is clearly pointing the way. So float that feather to the direction of that you need to go. I mean, you know, everything's sort of floating in the right way, but there needs to be more, because the Ace of Swords is sharper. You know, it's not the feather, but it's a sharper sort of way. And another way I could read this, you know, because I think of the swords suit having to do with communication, and then, or I think of this, these two combined could be like a quill, or you can think of like, I don't know where I was going with that. Retract what I was about to say, but and then you know, the star, you know, sometimes I kind of like in the star in Lenormand, I will, you know, it's pretty similar meaning as the star in tarot, because, you know, with tarot and Lenormand, they have some of the same cards, but they mean different things. You know, like the tower and the tower, they mean different things in Lenormand versus tarot, or the moon means something slightly different in both. The star, to me, kind of has the same sort of meaning in both. And the star in Lenormand, one of the interpretations I have of the star in Lenormand is the internet. So I wonder if that could be a communication going on in the internet, and yeah, just sort of floating along with what's going on. So anyway, so that's it for this combination. Let me move on to the next one. So one of the other decks I pulled out was the Illuminated Earth Oracle, because I feel like the energies for this definitely go, and maybe even the imagery as well. Let me do a quick little shuffle here, but yeah, and these decks, the ones in this series, the Illuminated Earth Oracle, the Faceted Garden, the Rain Shadow Tarot, yeah, all of those they have a certain energy to them. This is not even, so I'm going to do this. All right. They have a certain energy to them that kind of has what I was talking about with this, that seriousness, a deep energy to them that I think works pretty well. Relationship, and, you know, and the energy of this deck. I mean, we've got the Illuminated Earth. I mean, it is an Earth Oracle, mixed with this fire energy, but there is a lot of like rocks and fire in this deck that I feel like is shown here. And this series is also doing a sort of element thing. So I feel like this, it's going to be a pretty normal thing for me to combine those element decks. And of course, this is the Earth one, but I still think it kind of goes pretty well. Relationship between the 5 of Cups and the Queen of Swords. Ooh, maybe some harsh words that are really affecting a relationship. Yeah, all right. So, 10 of Swords and Judgment with gifts in the middle. Oh, okay. So this ending that may seem like it is like the worst thing in the world may actually be a gift in disguise, because we're going to come out of it just really refreshed here, and with a new sort of outlook. So yeah, that works pretty well. Yeah, I'm already very happy with this, and it's going pretty much exactly how I thought it would, which the energies themselves go very, very well. Erosion between the Page of Wands and the Page of Cups. Ooh, erosion. Okay, between 2 pages. How might I think of that? So, because there's all that newness energy with the 2 pages, there's the excitement or fervor around something, because the Page of the Wands is that passion, and the Cups is kind of that desire, the emotion and the passion behind it can start to wane because of that lack of experience. So that's kind of how I'm seeing that. One more with this. Let's see. We've got Fire, which is good in this deck. Between the Six of Wands, that Victory card, and the High Priestess. Okay. Interesting. All right. So that was a pretty good pairing. I'm going to pull out the next one. So far, I'm not sure which one I like more with it. Either the Memento Mori or the Illuminated Earth, but we'll see. So the next one, this was kind of a last minute decision. I pulled this one out. This is the Urban Crow Oracle. I thought this may work. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, but it's kind of got that darker energy that these decks have. Right here in the middle. The three positions work pretty well, I think, on the cloths that I made. All right, so we've got caching between these were the cards from the last ones. Let me pull off a chunk, actually. All right, so anticipation between the Two of Pentacles and the Lovers. Oh my gosh, anticipation of a choice. Yeah, for sure. And it's almost like that the bird is deciding which chairs to pick. Yeah, that works. I think I'm more looking at the message versus the actual images. I mean, the images do work. Eight of Wands with a Two of Swords and Mischief in between. Ooh, okay. That's interesting. Anomaly between the Knight of Wands and the Six of Swords. Interesting. Luck between the Page of Swords and the Eight of Cups. Interesting. Now, as far as just the images go, I mean, the coloring goes pretty well. But I don't know. I think the energy between these are they kind like they don't not go. But it's not my favorite. And there's other decks that I think I like more with the Urban Crow. So I think that's what's sort of holding me back from really embracing this pairing, is that I feel like there are better options for this one, and there are better options for this one. They don't not go, but they're not a perfect pairing, if that makes sense. All right, let's move on to the next one. So the next one I pulled out, I know goes. This was the pairing that I used for my nightly reader. And so I know this goes. Yeah, I wanted to share it here, and that is the green glyphs. I know these match with the Element Arcanae decks because I think what I've always had trouble finding decks that pair well with the green glyphs, because the coloring of this is so peculiar. It's so distinct to these cards. It's hard for the camera to really show, but the cards themselves kind of have a yellowy sort of hue to them, and it makes it very difficult to pair with other decks. I love all the the shinies. But I think what I found that goes really well with these are decks like this that go completely to the edges, like there's no borders, because bordered decks, for some reason, it doesn't matter what the color of the border is, for some reason it just really clashes with these. And I'm going to do like this, because with the smaller oracles I like to do a different sort of layout. We got feather again. I do like this. So here's the thing, I'm actually going to flip this around and do the other side. Okay, that's a little better. The other side, the gold is, it clashes with this. So, I've only made 2 of these. The other one, it completely doesn't match this deck. So that's why I didn't pull it out. And this one doesn't match this deck super well, but it was closer, and I just kind of wanted to use these. So I will be making more of my cloths in different colors and different styles and stuff. And of course, since I'm hoping to refine my design a bit and start selling selling some. Yeah. And there will definitely be some that I have that aren't as busy as this. It looks really good with the Memento Mori for sure. But because this deck is also very busy, you know, it is a little bit difficult, but I still like it. I think I did a good job. But anyway, so let me pull off a chunk here. We have Swing Set and Feather between the 6 of Pentacles and the 7 of Swords. Oh, okay. And we got this rainy swing set here. Like, you can't really play in this playground. The 6 of Pentacles, kind of that giving, receiving, you know, I give to you, you give to me, sort of energy. It can also be a bit of a charity if we're reading it in certain ways, or there's a deceptive sort of charity or a deceptive sort of offering going on, or giving too much is yeah, well, I was going to go down a different route here, but I don't think that quite fits here. But more a certain deceptive energy with this, that this offer isn't what it seems, and it's kind of floating in air, but it's just kind of, this is what's raining down right now, and there's this feeling of being up in the air with it, or floating along and just going with the flow on it. But we're going to get drowned by the, you know, if we accept whatever is going on. So that's kind of how I would read that. All right. So, I mean, obviously, depending on the context of the reading. Okay. And I do, you know, like tarot in general, is very psychological. So I was kind of reading that last one as a pretty specific situation, you know, but I do kind of like to read tarot and other divinatory systems in a more divinatory sense, or I guess fortune tellery sort of way. That is kind of where my mind goes. But, you know, obviously tarot is definitely has that more psychological slant to it. So anyways, we got the Ace of Cups and Temperance between Mites and Giant Tooth. Oh, wow. Interesting. All right, well, I'm not sure how I would read that, because I think I'd have to go into the guidebook to look at those. But that's one thing with this deck. I think I want to go through and sort of just do a similar sort of thing with some other decks of this type, where I just kind of instinctively give my impression of what that means. So Phone Call and Rooster. Oh, that's a call right here, between the 5 of Wands and the Hierophant, which is also a 5. So, geez, that's not a phone call I would want to get. Like, this feels frustrating, or you're the one having to do this, be that Hierophant, and that voice of, like, authority isn't quite the right term, because that's more the Emperor, but, you know, that voice of knowledge, I guess, and of, you know, this is not how things are supposed to go, you know. You could be the Hierophant, or you could be getting that call from the Hierophant. But yeah, that's an interesting combination there. I'm going to just do one more here. We've got the goat. I love that it eats the border. And the Morning Glory between the 6 of Cups and the 5 of Swords. Ooh, interesting. Okay, and, you know, the 5 of Swords is kind of that winning at all costs sort of thing, and we got the goat that it's eating everything in sight, even the border that's trapped, yeah, that's framing the card. So that kind of connects with that 5 of Swords energy. And then the 6 of Cups, interesting. All right, well, oh, I don't know why I pulled another one. I'm switching decks. And of course, with the green glyphs, you know, because it's a whole system, like we've got the oracle cards, we've got the tarot for it, we've got the rune cards and the Lenormand, etc., etc. There is, I kind of want to devise some sort of system with those decks, and utilizing multiple of those decks with other decks, etc., and how I might do that myself, and how it would work for me, and kind of standardize it. You know, like I'm talking about standardizing my mats here so that I can actually sell them. You know, kind of standardizing how I would use all of the green glyphs with other decks. So anyway, so that's that one. And sort of in that vein, we can switch up a little bit and pull out some of the decks that are multi, you know, that are kind of tableau style. I think that's what I was trying to say. So let me grab all the excess cards here. Let's see, what do I want to do for this? So I have a few that fit this bill. So I have my Mildred Payne, which I think goes pretty well with this as well. And this I specifically read tableau style, like a Lenormand. So, I mean, this is kind of what I mean. This is kind of how I read the Mildred Payne. I read it straight up Lenormand style, and it's kind of got that similar vibe as the green glyphs here, where it's just an item. And so and I've been working on sort of coming up with my own interpretations of each of these cards, because there is a guide pamphlet, but it's really just vague suggestions, because it's really encouraged to come up with your own meanings. And that is definitely how I have been operating with this deck. Oh my god, we got the feather again. Like 3 different decks I have pulled the feather card and stopped and talked about it. So this feather must be something I need. Something about the feather is an energy I need to be paying attention to, I think. So like one of the things I've been doing, or kind of exploring with, I'll have a playing card reading on one side. Gotta get the jokers out here. And I've been really favoring this bear deck that I have, and doing a 4-card reading like this. And this is a technique that I recently discovered from Anna Cortez, who does playing card divination. And she has her own system that I don't completely agree with her system, but like, you know, everyone sort of does it their own way. Because I don't quite agree with her meanings on the you know, what each card is associated with, but I really love her layouts on things, and her connections to geomancy that I've seen her do. So laying out the 4 cards like this, I've really enjoyed doing that. So there's a reading like this, and it could be a geomancy reading, or just I've been enjoying laying out playing cards in this way. So it's not tableau style. It's more, I guess I would say, waterfall style, a waterfall style of reading. Yeah. So this, you know, represents something in, you know, for the querent. It represents, you know, the situation at hand, or the answer to the question. This part gives more information. And then the last cards can be from, like, say, a tarot deck like this one. And it can there can be 3 different positions, or 2 different positions, to represent some advice. Or you could do 3 cards like that. You know, that's one way that I was kind of doing some of it. I can't off the top of my head think of positions like the spread positions for these, but you know, a 3-card thing at the end to sort of give advice on whatever the situation is. And I think this layout works really nice. It looks a little busy with this particular backing, but I think it's nice. I'm gonna make more of these, so there will be some that are more neutral and able to match these, I think. But I really wanted to use this. Plus, I've been enjoying using these mats with these kinds of layouts. These, you know, I made them large enough to fit multiple cards, to fit a full layout of cards. But it's small enough that it fits on a shelf, and, you know, at most it does 2 tarot size top to bottom like this, but you know, yeah, anyway. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this layout, and I'm gonna leave this out just a moment so I can switch out some cards, because we can oh, hell, I mean, I'll take out the playing cards, but I also have like the Calic cards here, so let me actually move these out of the way. So I have my Calic Cards deck here with the pouch that Coco made for me, which is really sweet. I'm going to add a snap to this. So I'm still trying to figure it out, but yeah, I'm going to add a snap to this. And I went over this bag in my last video as well. So let me lay out something here. I'm just going to do... Now, this deck, I also use a little bit more tableau style, and I think it's more, I think this deck is meant to be like tableau style, but there's something about this deck that I think I kind of like a 6 card more than a 9 card with this, so I kind of like it like that. So yeah, and plus they are a little larger than my Mildred Payne deck. Mine is the original like mini size. This deck originally came in this size. So the larger deck that's more this size, the more bridge size, that's actually the deluxe version, and this was the original, and I prefer the mini for sure. but I love bridge size decks too. So this was a really good this is a really good size. So yeah, I like this little 6 card layout with the Calic cards. I'm still trying to figure out how exactly I read this, but it's something I'm still experimenting with. But I thought, you know, it might look good with the 2 cards on either side. Here we go. I mean, and that could represent something. You know, again, I don't know prepositions here, so I'm just sort of laying things out. But this combination, I think, goes pretty well. Again, there are other decks that I think I like more with the Calic cards. So while I have the same feeling about this that I had with the Urban Crow, in that this is not a bad combination. It looks good together, but there are other decks that are better for this one, and there are other decks that are better for this one. So it's not bad, but it's not fantastic, you know. So yeah, so that was another layout. So, as far as my favorites go, pairing with this, I think Illuminated Earth was definitely a winner. This one was good. I like you know, it goes well. It goes fine. But yeah, the theme was a little bit, the theme on this goes very, very well. I also really love, let's see, I also really love the green glyphs with this. I think, you know, there are very few decks that go well with the green glyphs, so these ones definitely do. So does the ocean one. It also goes really, really well with the green glyphs. So I really like that one. And of course I like the Mildred Payne with it, because I like the Mildred Payne with almost everything. Yeah, and I think that was probably my favorites of these. Yeah, I would say these ones. So let me know what your favorite combination was, and if you have any other suggestions, that would be great. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I will see you next time. Bye!